Hey friends, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts, and welcome to the official pregame week of the French Press Cardi. I am so excited that we are finally starting this amazing event, and I can't express how jazzed I am to have you with me. This video is part of a weekly series of videos that you'll get throughout the crochet along. They'll be available in our email as well as in our Facebook group. So the emails are really just to make sure you have all the information that you need to be successful throughout this crochet along. These videos will have tutorials, announcements, milestone updates, and some of my favorite projects as we go through the crochet along. To get this one kicked off, we're going to jump in with some announcements. The first announcement, and honestly I think the most important one, is where to ask questions. You might have questions along the way, things about the pattern or about the crochet along in general. The best place to ask those is going to be in our Facebook group, or you can reply to the weekly emails that come out. You can also email me directly at tlyarncrafts@gmail.com. Please do not put questions on Ravelry, on my blog, or on Instagram. I probably won't see them, or if I do see them, it's going to be more appropriate for me to answer them in the Facebook group or directly to you, since this is a closed event. Now let's get to some of the fun stuff, and that's going to be our discounts and crochet along exclusive products. I had so much fun pulling together all of the sponsors and helping to develop some of the crochet along exclusive products this time around. Several of those sponsors were gracious enough to offer discounts, so here's a quick rundown. Of course, there is a discount for TL Yarn Crafts. You can use the code FrenchPress for 15% off my entire site, tlyarncrafts.com. That not only includes patterns, which I'm sure you're all here for, but that's mugs, it's t-shirts, it's pins, it's everything. My entire site is 15% off. You can use code FrenchPress for the entirety of the crochet along to save 15%. Ashley of Montana Crochet is giving you 15% off of her website as well with the code FrenchPress. You can use that code to purchase your kit for the crochet along, but there are also other very beautiful patterns and yarns available on her website. So use the code FrenchPress again throughout the entirety of the crochet along on montanacrochet.com to save 15% off. Angie of Harper Baby Hooks is offering a discount to her shop for a crochet along as well. You can visit her on Etsy and use code FrenchPress for 10% off. You can use that for the Cal exclusive hook that's going to be offered. I'm going to have more details on that later, but you should definitely go pick those up. She has a limited number. We have another crochet hook sponsor. That's our friends at Furls. They're offering 20% off of their shop, furlscrochet.com, with code FrenchPress. It's available throughout the entirety of the crochet along. Next up, you can get a free gift with purchase from Jimmy Bean's Wool. They're offering their Oh Snap bags, which I am totally obsessed with. I have one Oh Snap bag. It's the pretty gold one, and I'm going to be using that as my project bag throughout the crochet along. So you should definitely go pick that up. All you'll need to do is put French Press Cal in the notes section when you check out, and they'll include your Oh Snap bag in your purchase. And our very last crochet along sponsor is going to be Brittany and her husband Reese of Woolberry Fiber Co. Now, Brittany is a fantastic yarn dyer. I honestly own more of her yarn than I should, but her husband Reese actually roasts coffee beans. And I got to try his coffee when I tried the sock and coffee kit from Woolberry Fiber Co. And I just was obsessed with it. I love coffee as it is, but this coffee was especially silky and delicious and just tastes good from the first sip to the last sip. So I got Reese to specially blend up some coffee for us. It is called Sweater Weather. It has notes of chocolate and dried fruit and is really the perfect companion for this entire crochet along. Brew up a pot, grab your project, and get started. You can find that product on their website, woolberryfiberco.com. There is a link to that product in your welcome packet. Now, I know you want even more good news, and that good news is that we have 4 giveaways going throughout the crochet along. I convinced all of our sponsors to throw something in, myself included, so here's the rundown. The first giveaway is called First Finished. You will receive the entire French Press Cardi pattern on the first day of week 1 of our crochet along. If you are so inclined to just breeze through that pattern, which you honestly can do in just a couple of days, then you deserve a prize. So for First Finish, all you have to do is take a few photos of yourself in the cardigan or put it on a mannequin or something like that. Just something that can show me that you are completely done. Send those photos to tlyarncrafts@gmail.com. The very first person to send me photos of their completed cardigan is going to win all these prizes right here. Our next giveaway is called Most Loved, and in order to win that one, you'll need to upload your project to Ravelry. Upload your project and then tell all of your friends, family, coworkers, literally everyone with a computer to go favorite your project. At the end of the crochet along, I'll tally up all of the favorites, and the person with the most favorites on Ravelry is going to win all of these prizes. Another of our giveaways is called the Cow Groupie. Now, you don't have to be a groupie per se, but you do need to be in the Facebook group in order to win this one. This is just to incentivize your activity and your presence in our Facebook group. Join that Facebook group, and then at the end of the crochet along, I'll randomly pick one participant to win all of these prizes. And the last giveaway for our crochet along is the hashtag master. Now, the Instagram hashtag for our crochet along is French Press Cal, French Press CAL. Use that hashtag as many times as you want to on Instagram, and at the very end of the crochet along, I'll be picking one winner to win all of these prizes. Now, a couple things about using the hashtag on Instagram. You do have to have a public account for me to be able to see your Instagram post using the hashtag. So if you don't have a public account already, you can very easily just create one for this crochet along, use those hashtags, and you'll be in the running for the giveaway. Aside from getting yourself entered into all of these amazing giveaways, sharing your projects is an opportunity for the people that you know and love that also crochet to get in on the crochet along. Registration closes September 9th, and you'll receive the full pattern on the 10th. So you have between the moment you're watching this video all the way until September 9th to share this as much as possible. Not only are you crocheting along with us, but you can also crochet along with some of your own personal friends. Share your projects with your close friends online, maybe in an Instagram DM group, or you can even, take this project outside to your local Sip and Stitch group, or even start a Sip and Stitch just for this crochet along. I can't wait to see all of the ways that you use this opportunity to make more friends. This first full week of pregame is meant to be a time for you to gather all of your supplies. Specifically, that's going to be your yarn as well as your hooks. Now, when it comes to the yarn, we have a fantastic crochet along sponsor. That is Ashley of Montana Crochet, and she has dyed up 3 beautiful colorways for the crochet along. The first colorway, of course, is this mocha color. This is that beautiful brown that I used for the original sample. The second color is turmeric, which is what I'm using for my sample. It's this gorgeous tonal deep yellow. Oh my God, it's so good. And then the last color is matcha, which is the beautiful green tonal that Ashley used for her sample. Now, Ashley has made kits available for our projects, and you can use the discount code for the kits. Now, Ashley is offering all of the kits for our projects as pre-orders, and she has 30 pre-orders for each colorway. So do not wait. Go pick up your kits right now. Now, if you don't happen to pick up a kit or prefer to use your own yarn for our project, here's a few notes on substituting yarns. Now, I've put the total yardage for each of our sizes here. So we have our small medium size clocking in at 750 yards. Our large and extra large size is running you right about 890 yards. And then our largest size, 2X and 3X, is going to use about 1,000 yards of our Aran weight yarn. Now, that's give or take. So make sure you buy plenty of yarn. If you get kits from Ashley, those will be perfect. You won't need anything extra. But when you go about substituting yarns, you might want to get a little bit more than you think you need just in case. Now, the yarn that we're using for our crochet along is an Aran weight. So an Aran weight yarn falls right between a traditional worsted and a bulky weight. A little bit heavier than worsted, a little bit lighter than bulky. Now, whether you decide to substitute yarns or to use the yarn in the kit, I definitely encourage you to make a gauge swatch. Some people call it a tension square. It's just a small sample of crocheting made with the correct hook size and the correct stitch pattern to make sure that you're going to have enough yarn and also that your project is going to fit properly. I know that there is a lot of controversy about whether or not you need to make a gauge swatch or a tension square, but if there is only one time in your entire crochet life that you decide to make one, let it be for this one. I want your projects to come out perfectly. I'll talk a little bit later more specifically about how to make that tension square and what the gauge is for our project, but just be prepared to make one this week. So Aran weight yarn can sometimes be a little bit hard to find in stores. If you find one, snag it, but I do have some suggestions for some Aran weight yarns that I know of online that could be great substitutions in this project. The first one is going to be from lovecrafts.com, and that is the Paintbox Wool Mix Aran. So that is a mix of wool and acrylic yarn. I had the opportunity to use that for a project earlier this year, and it really is some of the nicest feeling acrylic wool mixes that I've had the chance to try. It is a true Aran, so landing right between worsted and bulky, and they have a ton of really good colors. A lot of them are kind of solid colors, so not much tonal, not anything by the way of speckles, but they do have some really great options, and it's really affordable, running about $6 or $7. Last time I looked at it, it was actually on sale, so that could be a great substitution. Another great substitution is going to be Sugarbush Bold, which is available through Yarnspirations. Now, depending on which website you go to, Bold is sometimes categorized as a worsted and other times it's categorized as an Aran weight. I've worked with it personally, and I do think it leans on the side of Aran, so it's definitely one to check out. It is 100% superwash merino, so it's going to be the closest texture to what we're using in the kits that we're getting from Montana Crochet. It's definitely a luxurious option, but at a really affordable price on the Yarnspirations website. My last recommendation is going to be Knit Picks City Tweed Aran. Now, the nice thing about City Tweed Aran is that you get that tweed effect that we're also getting in the Montana Crochet kits, but you also get that Aran weight that we need. Now, it doesn't have that tonal nature. It doesn't have all the dimension that you're going to get from Ashley's yarn, but it is a great alternative. Similar to the other yarns I mentioned, City Tweed Aran has a great price tag on it. Knit Picks is a fantastic company all around, and you can expect to get your yarn quickly. Now let's talk crochet hooks. You will need a 6.5mm as well as a 5.5mm crochet hook for our project. Our cow sponsor, Angie of Harper Baby Hooks, has whipped up these beautiful, I mean beautiful, swirly, delicious, shiny, handmade hooks for us. She's created one to mimic each of the 3 crochet along colorways. They come only in the 6.5mm size, so you'll need to get a 5.5mm hook yourself, and they are offered in the tapered and the inline style, so you can pick the one that you prefer. There is a coupon code for those hooks, and they are in very limited supply, so if you haven't snagged one already, you better pause this video and go right now. You can also get your hooks from our other cow sponsor, which is Furls. They offer hooks in wood, resin, and metal, and they have tons of different options. I know recently they released some beautiful resin streamlines. They have glitter and they're kind of swirling, galactic looking, or if you want to wait a day or so, then you can pick up those beautiful Odyssey yellows. I am so tempted to get some of those myself. Make sure you use that coupon code though. Throughout our crochet along, we are going to have milestones. Now the milestones are going to be weekly goals to help us keep pace with each other and finish our projects at the same time. You are welcome to stick to the milestones. That's what I'm planning to do. They're going to be working at a pace that's comfortable, especially if you have, I don't know, a day job or kids or something like that. But you are more than welcome to go at whatever pace is most comfortable for you. Since you will receive all of the tutorials, the full pattern, everything that you need to complete the project, if you aren't able to keep pace with us, that's fine. And if you want to take a faster pace, go for it. This is completely up to you. But if you are planning to keep pace with the milestones, here's what you can complete here in our pregame week. Our very first milestone goal is to upload our projects to Ravelry. Now, if you're not familiar with Ravelry already, it's like a big social network, but on steroids and just for knitters and crocheters and yarn lovers. They have groups, you can purchase patterns, you can interact with your favorite designers. There's so much functionality behind Ravelry. I find that if you're brand new to it, it's really good to kind of pace yourself with some of the features that are available, and one of them could be just uploading your project and starting there. I put a link in our Facebook group on how to join Ravelry if you're not on it already. Then when you get into Ravelry, you can search for the French Press Crochet Along. From there, you can click Hook It Project, and that's going to be at the very top of the photo if you're looking on mobile, or it's going to be a little bit off to the right if you're looking at it on a desktop. And once you click Hook It Project, you can give your project a name. From there, you can edit your project by adding photos, putting notes, regular updates, whatever you'd like to do to kind of track your progress throughout our entire project. Oh, and don't forget that uploading your project to Ravelry gets you in the running for the Most Loved giveaway. Our second milestone goal is to make a tension square or a gauge swatch, whatever you like to call it. Either way, doing this step is going to make sure you're using the right amount of yarn and that you're set up for your project to fit properly. So tension matters a lot when it comes to making garments. It's so important that you don't skip this step. If you're keeping up with the milestones, we'll all be making our tension squares together, and I'll actually be sharing mine on Instagram this week. So I just put up some info about the tension, letting you know how many rows and how many stitches you should have for a 4-inch square using the 6.5mm hook in the extended single crochet mesh pattern. I know that is a lot of information. It's very, very specific because our gauge swatch has to be as exact as possible. To make your tension square, here's what I recommend you do. Take your 6.5mm hook as well as the yarn that you plan to use for your project and start with foundation single crochet stitches. I'd start with 25 foundation single crochet stitches and then start working in your extended single crochet mesh. So you're going to chain up 3 and then skip the first 2 stitches and extended single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, extended single crochet in the next stitch, and do that across your row. Work several rows of your extended single crochet mesh, and then you're going to grab a ruler and see how many stitches are in 4 inches and how many rows are in 4 inches. One thing to note is that your tension square does include the chain stitches between your extended single crochet. So when I say 4 inches should be 15 stitches, that includes extended single crochet stitches and chain. So make sure you're counting those when you do your tension square. So when you do your tension square, you're going to measure the number of stitches for 4 inches and the number of rows for 4 inches. If you find you have too many stitches, you're going to want to go up on your hook size. So if you're working with 6.5mm, you might want to go up to a 7mm. If you find that you have too few stitches for that 4 inches, so whether it be rows or stitches in your rows, you're going to want to go down on your hook size. So you might want to go from a 6.5mm down to a 6mm. So make your adjustments as you need to. One thing to note when it comes to working with your tension or your gauge is that our project is going to create this really airy mesh fabric. So if your tension square is not perfect, it should be okay. We will be blocking it at the very end, so you will get a little bit more length and width that way. Just try your best to get as close to the tension, to the gauge that I put in the actual pattern. And our very last pre-game milestone is going to be sharing. Share, share, share to your heart's content. Make sure all of your friends, family, coworkers, every maker that you know and love knows about this event. Registration closes on the 9th, so if they don't register by the 9th, they're left out in the cold. One great way to share this week is, of course, joining our Crochet Along exclusive Facebook group. You can share when your yarn arrives, share when your hooks arrive, or even share other works in progress that you're working on. Tell us where you're planning to work on your project. Tell us who you're planning to work on your projects with, whether that be real people, cats, dogs, whatever. We want to know more about you. This Crochet Along is not just about making your cardigan. It's also about making long-lasting friendships. And of course, I want to see you sharing on Instagram. So you can use the Crochet Along badges that I created that are in your welcome packet, and also make sure you're using our Crochet Along hashtag, #FrenchPressCal. You can also follow hashtags now, so you can ooh and ah right along with me throughout this entire project. Throughout the event, I'll be sharing some of my favorite Crochet Along projects on Instagram, so make sure you're using that hashtag, and of course, that's going to get you entered into the #master giveaway. And lastly, make sure you're sharing on Ravelry by uploading your project and then dropping into all of your groups and threads and making sure folks know there as well. Well, that's it as far as announcements for our pre-game week. Make sure you take a moment to pick up some of the products from our cow sponsors, use those discount codes, and share, share, share. I'll see you soon.